Genoa City, January 13th. In the rarefied air of corporate warfare, victories are usually measured in percentage points and board seats, won through grueling proxy battles and calculated media leaks. But sometimes, the most seismic shifts occur not with a roaring clash, but with the near-silent click of a lock turning. This week on The Young and the Restless, the unthinkable became reality. The gilded, impenetrable fortress of Newman Enterprises was breached, and the flag planted on its executive suite was not the familiar royal blue and gold, but the deep green and bronze of Jabot Collective, the spoiler that has set the fandom ablaze. Newman Enterprises is ours was not a boast, but a statement of fact, the culmination of a masterstroke that has rewritten the city's entire power map. For decades, the narrative of Genoa City has been a binary star system, with the supernova force of Victor Newman and the steady, enduring burn of John Abbott, and later, his children, in a perpetual dance of rivalry and reluctant respect. Victor's near-mythological status as the great black wolf of business made his empire seem not just dominant, but destiny. To challenge Newman was to challenge gravity itself. Yet, in the episodes of January 12th through 16th, we witnessed not a challenge, but a quiet, brilliant usurpation. The heist, frame by frame. The genius of the Abbott maneuver, spearheaded by the increasingly formidable Jack Abbott and the coolly strategic Kyle Abbott, lay in its multi-vector approach. It was a symphony of pressure played on every vulnerable string of the fractured Newman dynasty. Won the insider's agony, Victoria Newman. Victoria's reign as CEO has been a chronicle of triumph undercut by paternal shadow. Victor's recent manipulations, particularly his use of Jordan as a chaotic pawn, didn't just wound her professionally. They shattered the last vestiges of her faith in her father as a benevolent patriarch. Jack, playing the part of empathetic confidant rather than overt adversary, offered her a vision she couldn't refuse: stability, respect, and a seat at the table in a new, unified corporate entity where her last name wouldn't be a curse. Her decision to align the substantial voting bloc of her shares with Jabot wasn't a betrayal born of greed, but a secession born of survival. To the prodigal's calculus, Adam Newman. Forever the outlier, Adam operates on a calculus of recognition and power. His recent attempts to prove his worth and loyalty were, once again, met with Victor's chilling disregard. Kyle Abbott, understanding the language of the undervalued heir, didn't offer hollow promises of family love. He offered Adam a clean slate, a co-architect role in a new empire, and the one thing Victor never freely gave: unequivocal ownership of his triumphs. Adam's pivot to the Abbott side was a cold, rational business decision, the most dangerous kind. Free the weakest link, Nikki Newman's crisis. With Nikki grappling with a monumental personal and physical crisis following the Jordan ordeal, Victor was dangerously distracted. The Abbott family, through Diane Jenkins Abbott, maintained a supportive, concerned presence. This wasn't just kindness, it was strategic insulation. It ensured Victor was isolated, his focus split, while the final pieces of the takeover slid into place. For the masterstroke, the Jabot Collective merger. The public-facing move was a bold merger proposal, creating the Jabot Collective, a titanic new conglomerate. To the outside world, it was a visionary partnership. But the fine print, revealed in a breathtaking boardroom scene on Friday, held the real coup. Through the complex exchange of shares and the combined voting power of Victoria, Adam, and Jabot-owned holdings, effective control of the Newman Enterprises legacy assets now rests under the Jabot Collective umbrella. Victor, for perhaps the first time in his adult life, was outmaneuvered on a scale he couldn't immediately counter. The fallout, a city in aftershock. The pronouncement, Newman Enterprises is ours, delivered by Jack to a stunned Victor in the now former Newman Enterprises headquarters, wasn't just a line of dialogue. It was an epitaph for an era. Victor Newman, we see not the roaring lion, but a stilled predator. His silence is more terrifying than any outburst. This isn't a mere setback. It's an existential dismantling of his life's work. The spoilers hint at a Victor we've never truly seen, cornered, stripped of his primary weapon, and facing a foe he can't simply fire or destroy. His next move is the greatest mystery of all. The Abbott Ascension. For Jack, this is the ultimate vindication, a victory over his lifelong rival that transcends business. For Kyle, it's a legacy-defining triumph that cements him as a Genoa City power player in his own right. But the spoilers also warn of the immense burden of this victory. Managing the vengeful Newman remnants, integrating warring corporate cultures, and keeping their fragile coalition with Victoria and Adam intact will be a Herculean task. A fractured dynasty. The Newman family is now irrevocably split. Nick and Sharon, watching from the sidelines, are left to ponder the fallout for their own ventures and relationships. Nate, ever the political animal, must now navigate a completely new hierarchy. The family gatherings at the ranch may become the most brutal battlefield of all. The new power dynamic. Genoa City's economy now orbits a single, colossal sun, the Jabot Collective. Competitors like Chancellor Winters must rapidly reassess their strategies. Every deal, every alliance, every ambition in town must now be filtered through this new, overwhelming reality. Creative analysis, the brilliance of the narrative pivot. This storyline is a masterclass in long-form storytelling. It took years of character development, Victor's paternal failures, Adam's seeking, Victoria's frustration, Jack's resilience, and wove them into a payoff that feels both shocking and inevitable. It moves the show beyond the cyclical Victor wins/loses Newman plot and into uncharted territory. The true drama now lies not in who controls a company, but in the profound human consequences of that shift, the collapse of an icon, the price of vengeance, and the terrifying weight of finally getting everything you thought you wanted. As we move forward, the question is no longer if Victor will strike back, but how, and with what remains of himself. The spoiler Newman Enterprises is ours wasn't an ending. It was the detonation of a narrative bomb, and we are just beginning to see the fragments fall, glittering and dangerous, over a forever changed Genoa City. The game hasn't just been won by a new player. The board itself has been flipped over. Tune in next week. The reckoning is only beginning.